goshō. Namo amida butsu. Namo amida butsu. Namo amida butsu. Namanda butsu, 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 namanda butsu.
Hello, and welcome once again to the Tri-State Denver Buddhist Temple's YouTube channel. Thank you for joining us for this Labor Day service for September 2021. We hope that you're having a great long weekend. Service order for today will be Juseige. You can find Juseige on page 57 in the Blue Denver Service Book. We'll then have a reading of the Ryogemon in Japanese. You can find the Ryogemon in Japanese in the description below. And then we'll have the Creed on page 103 in the Blue Denver Service Book. This is TSDBT's translation of the Ryogemon. We'll then have a Dharma talk in English. Thank you so much for once again joining Tri-State Denver Buddhist Temple's YouTube channel's Sunday service. If you enjoy the service, please make sure to hit the like button or the subscribe button down below. Also, if you don't have a copy of the Blue Denver Service Book, look for the hyperlink in the description below. And as you see here at Tri-State Denver Buddhist Temple, we're once again wearing masks for the safety of our ministers and staff. So please take care of all those around you today. And remember, no matter where you go, you are always an Amida's light.
Gagon chosegan hishimu jodo shigan fumanzok seifu joshongak Gahomuyoko furi daiseshu fusai shobingu seifu joshongak jijō bundo myōshō chōjipo kukyō mishōmon seifu joshongak Ryokujin shonen joe shubongyo shigumu jodo isho tenin shi jinriki endai ko fusho musaido shoujo sankumyo kosai shuyakunan kaihi chiegen meshin komoan heisoku shou 学道通達全宗門高僧上満足いよろじぽ日願修十期天候音不言一種解放像公正苦読法上大修十説法ししく供養一切分具足習得本元年心上満得意三害を女分無下知通断未不詳願学へ力投資最小尊志願や交換大戦の感動国書天に問う珍妙形ナマンダブナマンダブナマンダブナマンダブナマンダブナマンダブ願にしく読平等性一切同本菩提心往生安楽行ナモアミダ仏ナモアミダ仏ナモアミダ仏ナマンダ仏ナマンダ仏ナマンダ仏ナマンダ仏
Please join me in goshō for a reading of the Ryogemon in Japanese, followed by the TSDBT translation of the Ryogemon, the Creed, in English. The Creed can be found on page 103 in the Blue Denver Service Book. Moromoro no zōgyō zasshu jiriki no kokoro o furi suttee, isshin ni amida nyorai, warera ga kondo no ichidaiji no goshō, ontasuke sōrae to tanomi shite sōrō. Tanomu ichinen no toki, ichijō ontasuke jijō to zonji, kono ue no shōmyō wa goshō to zonji, yorokobi moshi sōrō. Kono onkotowari chomon moshi wake sōrō koto, gokai-san shonen goshūsei no goon, shidai sojo no zenji shiki no asakara zaru gonkanken no goon to, arigataku zonji sōrō. Kono ue wa sarame okase raruru on okite, ichigo wo kagiri mamori mosu beku sōrō. The Creed. We rely upon Tathagata Amitabha with our whole hearts for the enlightenment in the life to come, abstaining from all sundry practices and teachings, and giving up the trust in our powerless selves. We believe in the assurance of our rebirth through him, through his compassion comes at the very moment we rely upon him, and we call the name Namo Amida Butsu in happiness and with deepest gratitude. We also acknowledge gratefully the benign benevolence of our founder and succeeding masters who have led us to believe in this profound teaching, and we do now endeavor to follow throughout our lives the way laid down for us. Please join me in goshō. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namanda Butsu, Namanda Butsu, Namanda Butsu, Namanda Butsu. Hello, and welcome to the Dharma Talk for this TSDBT YouTube service. Please join me in goshō for a reading from the Gobunsho, the Letters of Renyo. This is from the second fascicle, Letter 4, titled The Original Vow Beyond the World. Question. In the first place, the reason Amida Tathagata's original vow is described as being entirely beyond this world is because it is the incomparable vow that was especially composed to save ignorant beings like us, who in this defiled world of the last age remain woefully lacking in the goodness and merely go around committing wrongdoings. Even now, we still have not understood how we should embrace the teaching or entrust ourselves to Amida Buddha in order to attain birth in the Pure Land. Teach us, please, about all this in great detail. Answer. Sentient beings today in this last age should entrust themselves to Amida Tathagata with absolute single-mindedness. There is no need for them to entrust themselves to other Buddhas or Bodhisattvas as well. For, based on his vow to save with great love and compassion for all those, no matter how burdened they are with bad karma, who nevertheless take refuge in him as the one Buddha, Amida Tathagata sends forth the great light and embraces all of them within it. Consequently, the Meditation Sutra states, light illuminates all the worlds in the 10 directions and embraces all who say the Nembutsu, never to abandon them. In this way, through the inconceivable power of his vow, Amida Tathagata closes off all the bad paths, whether you count them as the 5 paths or the 6 paths, which otherwise would most certainly have which we would have been most certainly doomed to travel. The sutra also makes the reference to this as follows. Then you will sever crosswise the 5 bad paths, and those bad paths will naturally cease to be. Thus, even if our desire to descend into hell, once we've entrusted ourselves without doubt to the Tathagata's vow, those of us who've already received by Amida Tathagata's all-embracing light can never fall into hell by our own design, but must surely attain birth in the land of utmost bliss. Now that this truth has been clarified, in seeing that ourselves have been receiving the infinite benevolence of the Tathagata's great compassion, as copious as rainfall and as towering as mountains, morning till evening, night and day, all we ourselves can do is say the Nembutsu, or pronounce Buddha's name, over and over again in the gratitude for all the Buddha has done for us. This is how every follower of true faith should behave, most humbly and respectfully. And this is the postscript. Evening of the 15th of February in the 6th year of Bunmei, 1474, mindful of the day, long ago, when the great sage, the world-honored one, entered in nirvana, beneath the lamplight, rubbing my weakened eyes, I have just completed the last brushstroke at the age of 60. Renyo Shonen. So, I like this because it's a question and answer, although I do think Renyo may be posing the question to himself. But it's an important question. How is it that we are saved by the vow? Those of us who are woefully lacking in good karma and who go around committing wrongdoings. Renyo answers this, I think, in two ways, but with one answer. And that answer, of course, being entrust yourself to the Nembutsu, the Namo Amida Butsu. But also, Renyo is quoting from here the Meditation Sutra, one of the 3 sutras that we look to in this Jodo Shinshu teachings. And in there, the Meditation Sutra says, light illuminates all the worlds in the 10 directions and embraces all who say the Nembutsu, never to abandon them. In this way, through the inconceivable power of the vow, Amida Tathagata closes off all the bad paths, whether you count them as 5 paths or as 6, which otherwise would have most certainly which we would have most certainly been doomed to travel. The sutra makes the reference as the following: then you will sever crosswise the 5 bad paths, and those paths will naturally cease to be. So this goes to question, who is the target of Amida's vow? Who is the target of Amida's vow? If we were good people, and I don't mean good as in like, oh, you're a horrible person who's going to go run down kittens in the middle of the road. There's a box of kittens, and I'm going to swerve to hit them. And I know I have a lot of kitten-based references. I'm really allergic to cats, and so for me, they're kind of an abstract concept. You don't really, when it's something you're not around very often, like, I wouldn't say that about puppies, but in this case, kittens, because they're an abstract concept, so it's easier for me to even have that thought. But no one's going to swerve out of the way to be like, I'm going to hit these kittens, because, like, y'all ain't that kind of bad people. When we say bad people, we're talking about the principle of unintended consequences. So, I mean, maybe there is like some references in the sutras about like cattle thieves. And someone may steal a cattle in order to feed their family. And so for them, the theft of a cattle is a good thing, but the consequences of the theft of that cattle means the person whose cow that was now doesn't have the cow, they can't get milk from the cow, they can't possibly eat the cow, they can't sell the cow for money to feed their family. And so these are all about those unintended consequences. But even more so, there's a lot of different examples in the world of people who think they're doing something good, but in the end, they're actually doing something bad, because we can only see as far as our eyes allow us, or as far as our conception allows us. And so the beginning of this is because the incomparable vow was especially espoused to save ignorant beings like us who, in this defiled world, remain woefully lacking in goodness and merely go around committing wrongdoings. Let's break that down. Composed to save ignorant beings like us. We are ignorant of the consequences of our actions. So we may say something intended to be good for someone and they take it entirely bad. And we are ignorant of the consequence of the action of the words that we actually say. We may do an action that we think is entirely good, but instead may be entirely bad. Or we may forego an action based on our own assumptions that we think would be entirely good, but actually end up being entirely bad, or would be entirely bad, but would instead be entirely good. I can remember being with many people over my life where you walk by a homeless person on the street with a hat out or a box or something else, and they go, I'm not going to give them money, they're just going to spend it on booze or drugs or other things that they don't need. This person is not trustworthy. No quarters for you. And that is one of those things where you think you're actually helping someone and you may actually be hurting them, because for all we know, they were actually going to go buy an apple with that money. And we don't know that. because we are ignorant beings and we don't understand the intentions of others. We don't understand their thoughts because we are stuck inside of our heads. We are stuck inside of our own little worlds. So when we do something, we are small. We do the small things. No matter how great we think they are the small things because they are only done from our perspective. No matter how hard we try to walk in someone else's shoes, they are only our shoes that we walk in. They are only our perspective and our point of view that we can see from. The Buddha does not suffer from this. The Buddha is not an ignorant being. Amida sees all. Incomparable, incomprehensible. This is fukashigi. This is the ununderstandable. This is beyond our understanding. This is more than we can handle. We are limited. And so in that, we merely go around committing wrongdoings. Once again, we're not running over kittens. We're not stealing from people. I mean, maybe we are. But these are the wrongdoings of everyday life. These are the wrongdoings that we cannot help but commit because we are foolish beings. And so, Renyo's answer to this is single-mindedly, absolutely single-mindedly, there's no need to do anything else for us because we are so limited other than say, Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namandabutsu, 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 namandabutsu. And so, when we look back at this, light illuminates all the worlds of the 10 directions, embracing all who say the Nembutsu, never to abandon them. We are the people in the lights. We are people that are bathed in that light, no matter what. No matter where you go, the light is there. You can't escape it. So even if you are a villain, even if you are a bad person, it doesn't matter. Because Renyo says, thus, even if it were our desire to descend into hell, once we have entrusted ourselves without doubt to the Tathagata's vow, those of us already received by Amida Tathagata's all-embracing light can never fall into hell by our own desires, and must surely attain birth in the land of utmost bliss. You are never so far gone. Nothing has ever happened so badly in any moment of your life that you cannot fully and utterly entrust in the vow of Amida Buddha. There is no situation that is beyond the vow. So we chanted together today, Juseige. And one of my favorite lines in Juseige, and maybe you've heard this before, is Jippo Shishiku. Jippo Shishiku. I preach the Dharma with a lion's roar. And for those of us who are denizens of the Discovery Channel, you've definitely heard the volume of a lion's roar. It far, far, far outpaces the size of the lion. It goes on for a long, long time. And so, the Bodhisattva Dharmakara, Amida Buddha in his causal stage said, I preach the Dharma with a lion's roar. This Nembutsu reaches all quarters. No matter what is happening, you are embraced by the vow. No matter what you have done, wholeheartedly accept the vow into your heart and know that you are fully and utterly embraced by Namo Amida Butsu, the refuge in Amida Buddha. And so, good day, bad day, happy day, sad day, the infinite benevolence of the Tathagata's great compassion is as copious as rainfall and as towering as a mountain. Rain falls from the sky in large amounts, and mountains, especially here in Colorado, rise to the horizon, and more than that is the graciousness of the Nembutsu, the infinite benevolence of the Tathagata's compassion. You are never outside of Amida's grasp. So all we can do is say the Nembutsu, Namo Amida Butsu, over and over in gratitude for what the Buddha has done for us. This is like the love of a mother and a father. This is like the love of a parent. 2 mothers, 2 fathers, mother and father. It doesn't really matter, 1 father, 1 mother. This is the love that we feel from a parent. This is the love that we feel in the Namo Amida Butsu. It is unconditional. There's no conditioned. This is the unconditioned reality of the Nembutsu. Nothing stands in its way. And Renyo in 1474 wanted you to know this. This letter is 550 years old, more or less. And Renyo wanted you to know this. No matter what, you are fully and utterly embraced by the vow, Namo Amida Butsu. So today, when things look good, today when things look bad, today before you go to sleep, today when you wake up, today when you have lunch, today when you have that after-work beer, it does not matter, you are equally embraced by the Nembutsu. Namo Amida Butsu. So, live and share this happiness with people. Live and know you're embraced. Live and let the joy and happiness that is the light that reaches you anywhere shine from your face. Live and know that you are truly embraced and you are part of a very large family of people who have heard Namo Amida Butsu and who have dedicated their lives to the gratitude they feel, knowing that they are never alone. They are grasped, never to be abandoned. So when you look to Amida, when you're saying Nembutsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, what you're saying is, thank you, Amida. Thank you for letting me know I'm not alone. Thank you for letting me know that every day is worth it. Thank you, Amida, for letting me know that I'm in the light. Namandavits, namandavits, namandavits. Thank you for accepting me as a foolish person. Thank you for accepting me for everything, with everything that is wrong with me. Thank you for accepting me, even though I screw up sometimes. And we can look to Amida and know that this is always someone, this is always something, this is always the Nembutsu embodied. That no matter what you have done, and no matter where you've been, and no matter what you've seen, you are equally embraced by the vow. Namo Amida Butsu. And so I think on this, and I think, it'd be great. What if everyone felt that way? What if everyone felt Namo Amida Butsu and the gratitude that I feel right now? So let's make that happen. Let's do what we can to share the great happiness, the great joy that is Namo Amida Butsu. Let's make that all of our mission, to share Namo Amida Butsu and to show that everybody is in the light of Amida Buddha. Please join me in goshō as we hear the teachings of Renyo Shonin in the letters from the Gobunsho, the original vow beyond the world. The second fascicle, fourth letter. In the first place, the reason Amida Tathagata's original vow is described as being entirely beyond this world is because it is the incomparable vow that was especially composed to save ignorant beings like us in this defiled world of the last age, remaining woefully lacking in goodness and merely go around committing wrongdoings. Even now, we still have not understood how we should embrace the teachings or entrust ourselves to Amida Buddha in order to attain birth in the Pure Land. Teach us, please, about this answer in great detail. About this all in great detail. Answer. Sentient beings today in this last age should entrust themselves to Amida Tathagata with absolute single-mindedness. There is no need for them to entrust themselves to other Buddhas or Bodhisattvas as well. For, based on his vow to save with great love and compassion all those, no matter how burdened they are with bad karma, who nevertheless take refuge in him as the one Buddha, Amida Tathagata sends forth his great light and embraces them all within it. Consequently, the Meditation Sutra states, light illuminates all the worlds in the 10 directions and embraces all who say the Nembutsu, never to abandon them. In this way, through the inconceivable power of his vow, Amida Tathagata closes off the bad paths, whether you count them as 5 or 6 paths, which otherwise would most certainly, we would have most certainly been doomed to travel. The sutra also makes reference to this as follows. Then you will sever crosswise the 5 bad paths, and those bad paths will naturally cease to be. Thus, even if for our desire to descend into hell, once we have entrusted ourselves without doubt to the Tathagata's vow, those of us who are already received by Amida Tathagata's all-embracing light can never fall into hell by our own design, but must surely attain birth in the land of utmost bliss. Not that this truth has been clarified in seeing that we ourselves have been receiving the infinite benevolence of the Tathagata of great compassion, as copious as rainfall and as towering as a mountain, morning till evening, night and day, all we ourselves can do is say the Nembutsu, or pronounce the Buddha's name, over and over again in gratitude for all the Buddha has done for us. This is how every follower of true faith should behave. Most humbly and respectfully, Renyo Shonen. So let's say, thank you, Amida Buddha, together. Put our hands in goshō, and together say the practice. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namanda Butsu, Namanda Butsu, Namanda Butsu, Namanda Butsu. Namanda Butsu, Namanda Butsu, Namanda Butsu.